Happy Tuesday to you. This is Mark from MLB DFS Weather.com coming with you with the evening forecast. We already had one baseball game started in Toronto, and that's obviously not a problem since A, it's playing it, and B, it has a retractable roof. But we do have a couple places to watch for adverse weather conditions this evening. First is Chicago. We have a stalled front right around there. Next is Atlanta. We have pop-up storms and a warm, humid atmosphere. And then we have Kansas City and St. Louis, which are kind of on the fringes of some possible severe weather and heavy rain. So we'll have to continue to keep an eye on those. None of these look tremendously high for a postponement concern. If there's anyone that would be more of a postponement concern, maybe St. Louis, but not overly concerned with that right now. The SPC has more of the Kansas City region in for some possible severe weather, while thunderstorms are possible for Chicago, St. Louis, and there's already thunderstorms popping up around Atlanta. But the Atlanta thunderstorms are nothing out of the ordinary for Southeast in the summertime. So let's look at some simulated radars. The first game that starts is Atlanta at 7:10 p.m. My simulated radars are up here. At 7 o'clock, this is the latest simulated radar. You can see it looks rather wet just to the north and northeast of Atlanta. Not really overly concerned because as we can see, as we go through the evening, it quiets down a little bit. Not completely quiet, but not completely raining either. And you can see the trend has become quieter for Atlanta region. Let's go through those models again. 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. So is there a postponement possible? Yes, but I think the chances are low there in Atlanta. Delay is more likely. And even that, they could be in an area that doesn't see much rain or any rain and they don't have a delay. I'd put the delay chances at maybe 30 to 40% right now, and the postponement looks around 10. Chicago, we have a warm frontal feature. That starts an hour later at 8 o'clock. And you can see at 8 o'clock, rain is around the Chicago area. It doesn't look too heavy and not too steady either. So not concerned about a postponement there. Could there be delay? Yes. I would put the chances at pretty similar to what we have for in Atlanta. 30 to 40% for delay, 10% for postponement. St. Louis is a little quieter. Game again starts at 8 o'clock. We have this line of severe weather that's going to approach them from the west, but it looks like it's weakening as it lifts towards them as it's later in the evening. Postponement unlikely, delay possible, and then Kansas City, which is the western part of the state, looks quieter than St. Louis and Chicago. So I would put the chances of any issues there low as well. Some good hitting environments, and you can find this at MLBDFSweather.com. And I didn't have that up, so let me bring that up. We have it in Atlanta, warm and humid. Kansas City, very warm and humid. St. Louis, really like a steam bath there. Arizona, the roof will likely be closed, but the ball still carries well there. In Colorado is always a good hitting environment. Do not forget about that. Slight chance of a shower, thunderstorm, and let's look at the latest models in Colorado. It's very quiet, not too concerned. Wanted to bring up this page that has the ballpark alignment. Notice AT&T Park. This is where San Francisco plays. They're going to have a very strong west wind that's blowing out to almost through center field, 20 to 30 miles per hour. What I learned about this park is that there's a construction or some sort of wall or that's built to mitigate these winds. This park's on the peninsula that separates San Francisco Bay from the Pacific Ocean. It always has strong west winds that are coming right off the Pacific Ocean. They knew this when they designed the park, and so they wanted to limit the advantages the hitters get, so they built this thing, not exactly sure what it is, behind home plate that kind of blocks the wind. So even though the wind is screaming out to center field, it's not giving the batters too huge of an advantage. It's just something to keep in mind when you do see winds 25 miles per hour or something like that. Other than that, I talked about the good hitting environments, poor hitting environments. Tampa Bay, indoor dome, that's a pitcher's ballpark. And the Angels, it's still kind of cool and dry there, so the air density is higher, so the ball doesn't travel as well. I'll continue to update as we go through the day. Today's a day where I'm updating on MLBDFSweather.com. Keeping an eye on those 5 games that I mentioned in particular: Atlanta, Chicago, Kansas City, St. Louis, and maybe Colorado as well. Again, I'm not too concerned about a postponement in either place. Notice I have Chicago's postponement percentage at 30% when I did the forecast this morning. I'm going to drop that. It doesn't look like a postponement threat to me. And even Atlanta and Kansas City's, the 15%. Kansas City's, I think, is much lower than that. I'm just going to remove it from the postponement threat. Atlanta, maybe about 10. And then, like I said, delay threat, 35% looks good for Atlanta. 50 is probably too high for Chicago. Kansas City, the 40 is too high for Kansas City. St. Louis, 20 looks good. And Colorado, I may just get rid of it because there doesn't look to be any problems there. Anyways, catch me tomorrow.